gave me wings. Mama gave me breath. Dad taught me to sing. Mama gave me air. Daddy gave me a feather. Mama knew the seasons. Dad knew the weather. Mama gave me roots. Daddy gave me wings. Mama gave me breath. Dad taught me to sing. Mama gave me sun. Daddy gave me shade. Mama was light. Dad knew what darkness weighed. Dad knew what darkness weighed. I am a head on an upside down tree. I am a branch in my family. Mama gave me roots. Daddy gave me wings. Mama gave me breath. Dad taught me to sing. Mama gave me roots. Daddy gave me wings. Mama gave me breath. Dad taught me to sing. Dad taught me to sing. Dad taught me to sing. The new warrior needs no sword, for her heart is made of stillness. Draws no borders and claims no flags, just expands her lungs with fullness. The weapons that she wields are compassion and insight. It's not a battle between the good guys and the bad guys. We all contain the shadows and the light. The new warrior lays down her pride and opens her heart to listen. Uses her quiver of words carefully. A century on a cushion. The weapons that she wields are compassion and insight. It's not a battle between the good guys and the bad guys. We all contain the shadows and the light. Take off your armor, let your light shine. Break down the barriers that are only in your mind. let your light shine. Break down the barriers that are only in your mind. Only in your mind. Only in your mind. They're only in your mind. Only in your mind. Heat of compassion can burn us up. Gotta temper it with cool wisdom. Heat of compassion. From that space, we can understand with cool wisdom the radical interdependence of our system. From that space, heat of compassion. Understand.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity Columbine Spiritual Center, where centered in God, we celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. And we welcome Tom Litch back again with us today. We've heard his music in the past. Thank you for being here. And we have John and Stephen. Thank you also for being here. So let's stand for our first joy song.
All right, this song has some instructions for you. Take a look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Sing after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. Come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Now dance it out. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. From every walk of life, oh, every creed and color, in this should we unite, oh, in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. I must say I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. Oh, we come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Yes, we do.
That's a spirited way to get us going. And now, in the name of love, we call the children up and all their leaders. Come on up.
Good morning, Columbine. Good morning, good morning. I feel like we're missing some kiddos I've seen. I know we signed in more than this. They're in the back. Today is, what, do you know what I was dared to do this all in a British accent by one of our children. Should I do it? Can you guess who it was? Good morning, Columbine. This morning is all about joy. So we're going to have lots of fun downstairs. We're making gifts for the parents to take home today. What else? Are we going to have a spot of tea? I want to say one more thing. Okay. I wanted to say, I know they'll talk about this a little bit later, but there is, for those desiring more of a crowded table on Christmas Day, there is a Christmas Day potluck here, and my family will be here, and I just wanted to encourage anybody, any age, that you're welcome to join for the potluck.
And I just needed to say one more thing. So today is Joy, and so I just want to kind of invite you guys to go home and put on your sweater, because I wore mine today, to be in joy. So you can bless us up.
I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Those are all the words. You know them now. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. All right, same words, just a little different melody. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Yeah. One more time. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs. Oh, but the world needs all the good that I can do.
Now we shift our energy to a quieter space, going inside, and we begin with a bit more music, and then we'll be led in prayer and silent meditation by Rev Sue.
It's like, it's like I'd never sang before. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on your face. I feel the love of God surround me. And I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already there. Closer than the sunlight, and nearer than the air. And I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. It is health to my body. It is peace to my mind. It is joy. It is joy to my soul. And I breathe out my simple prayer. Thank you. And my breath becomes a song that was singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It's nearer than the air. It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me. And I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed, was already there. Closer than the sunlight, and nearer than the air. It's like the air
And so I invite you into a time of prayer with me. Take that deep, cleansing breath, breathing in that air. Gently close your eyes if you feel comfortable, or soften your gaze and allow yourself to just be fully, fully present. So on this special Joy Sunday, we recognize that joy is always part of us. That if we give an word to describe Spirit as joyful, that we too, because we are one with Spirit, we are in this field of oneness, that we too are joyful. And we recognize that we don't always feel that joy, that challenges come up in life, but we always have the capacity to turn within, to reconnect with that inner source of where our joy resides within us, in our divine essence. And we can allow ourselves to rekindle that joy, that sense of joy. That sense of joy that knows who we are, that remembers who we are, that understands that we are divine beings, that we are all one, we are all connected. We are all part of the same force, the same energy, the same field. When we see someone needing a little spot of joy, we can offer joy to them. And so thank you, Spirit, for this awareness, for this awakening to who we really are. Joyful beings living in a world, part of our wholeness. And so we hold that sense of joy for everyone. We hold that sense of joy for everyone in this sanctuary, everyone that's watching online, everyone in our community, everyone on our prayer box and every prayer request on our prayer list. We hold them. We hold you with joy, with love, with this sense of oneness, of knowing that we are all here together. We are all connected. And so I invite you into a time of meditation with me now, and a time to realign ourselves with that inner sense of joy, with that part of ourselves that knows this already, that has this understanding. So for the next couple minutes, let's rest together in the silence.
So I went to Costco yesterday. My wife refuses to go to Costco this time of year. But I consider it for me a spiritual practice because I get to decide what energy I'm bringing to that place, and every time you turn, and wishing that I had a turning signal on my cart. But it makes a difference. And in this time of year when it can become a little too commercial, a little bit too commerce-centered, I sometimes long for this type of feeling, which is a quiet Christmas. And we all want to send love to you, for sure. I've been there. So please know everything is good. Okay, you doing okay? All right, this song is called A Quiet Christmas. Too much to do, too little time to get it done. Too fast, my life goes by too fast. I'm on the fly and on the run. The gifts to buy, the cards to send, I'm lost in lists that never end. Where's the joy? Where's the peace? My heart longs for a quiet Christmas, far from the hurry and the noise, where peace on earth meets peace of mind. I long to find a quiet Christmas. Slow down. I can't make the world slow down, but maybe I can slow my mind. Just breathe, don't run away, just breathe, and maybe leave the cares behind. Oh, I know that I don't have to hide. I can find that quiet place inside. There's the joy. There's the peace. My heart longs for a quiet Christmas, far from the hurry and the noise, where peace on earth meets peace of mind. I long to find, oh, I long to find quiet Christmas.
Awesome. That song's amazing. So, welcome to this fourth Sunday of Advent where we're going to talk about joy. But if you haven't been following, let me remind you the candles that we've lit so far. In this season of Advent, we call it the season of waiting. And we've been waiting for, oh, hold on. I need some heat vision. Oh, well, you know what it is. Oh. See, when it really lights up, we're going to be excited. Or not. All right. Well, I'm going to get creative. So we've lit the candle for faith and hope. We lit the candle for peace. We lit the candle for love. And now we light the candle for joy. And believe it or not, despite all the things that we might have gone through, the things that we might be going through, and the things we might go through in the future, joy is why we're here. And that became really obvious to me this season. I didn't grow up in a liturgical church background, so we didn't make a big deal about the lectionary and following certain dates. We just went where the Spirit went, you know? We'd speak in tongues, whatever it had to be. And this week, for the first time ever, I understood some aspect of this calendar. Because the whole week, I knew I was going to be talking about joy. Like some years ago, and I'm the type of person, I don't like people telling me what to do too much. So I usually didn't like the lectionary. So I'm like, man, some people hundreds of years ago told me what I got to talk about this week. But I was glad that joy was on the horizon this week. And I imagine that for some of us who maybe were looking for hope and peace and all the other aspects of this liturgical calendar, that maybe we had some anticipation. And this whole season is about anticipating this birth of this mindset, this awareness, this consciousness, this Christ child that comes into the world and brings these things. And so in this season, we remember that we're waiting for these things, but we also are remembering that these things that we long for are within us right now. That we bring that Christ light, just like how you talked about in the song, and you bring it to Costco. We bring it everywhere we go. We bring the faith and the hope, the peace, the love and the joy, and so many other dimensions of who we are. But sometimes we forget these things. Things happen in our lives that make us get distracted from the joy that we are. Like for me, Christmas was not always my favorite holiday. It ranks somewhere down here, you know? And that's because, without getting too much into the drama, my parents broke up on Christmas. And so at a young age, I was like, oh no. So when the lights came up, my feelings went down because I knew what it symbolized for me. And then on the 7th Christmas that I had, I really thought I was done with Christmas for life. You see, after my parents separated, we moved in with my grandparents because my grandfather also passed away. And so we moved in with my grandmother, and this 7th Christmas was our first Christmas in our own place, just my mom, my brother, and myself. And we went to bed not thinking we were going to have any kind of real Christmassy thing going on, which was fine by me. But then when I woke up that morning, the living room was full of light. And somehow my mom, by some miracle, had set up a tree, filled it with lights, put lights all around in the living room, and there was toys and gifts everywhere. And she was like, "Merry Christmas." And I know it must have meant so much to her to give that to us when we had had so much pain and so much loss. And so she did what she had to do, and she brought that out. And at first I was kind of like, oh no. But my little brother, who didn't remember any of the other things, he was thrilled. And so not too long after, I got thrilled too. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Okay, yay, all right, we can do this. And we enjoyed it so much that we kind of kept the lights on for a while. You ever go in somebody's house like January 15th, 16th, and you're like, okay, we get it. It's probably some of y'all. I bet if I come to some of your house on February 14th, I'm like, this is Valentine's Day. You still got the Christmas tree up. So we were those folks, because it reminded us of this magical morning that we had. And so one day I came home and the Christmas lights were off, right? But it wasn't just the Christmas lights that were off. The living room lights were off. The kitchen lights were off. The bathroom lights were off. There was no electricity. Some of y'all know what that's like right now. You know that feeling, right? No electricity. And it's one thing for the power to be out. And we don't say power out. We don't lose our power in unity. The electricity went out. We all always have our power. Okay. So the electricity went out. And that's one thing, right? For one day. But then a week, then 2 weeks, then a month, no power, no electricity, right? It was because my mom, in her zeal to give us this magical Christmas, decided not to pay some bills. And so they caught up with us. And so we were in the dark. It was a pretty long Advent. We got used to candles, sitting around the kerosene heater at night for warmth. And then one day, I was so used to the lights not being on at this point that I almost didn't want to bother flipping the switch, but I was like, whoo, light. Man, it was better than 10,000 Christmases. I was running around the house, click, 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 click. It works, it works, it works. Yes! The lights are on. And man, what a joy we felt. That was like the maximum height of joy for those little lights. Because I was used to, when you're used to something, you don't think about it. You go, you flip on the switch, light turns on. Eventually, you don't think about it, just that's what it's supposed to do. But then when it doesn't do it, and then it comes back, there's something there, something that you're like, whoa, I was missing this and I found it again. And that's why we're here. That's why we show up in this community. That's why we talk about joy and peace and hope and all these things, is because we are trying to remember that joy that is supposed to be here, that's in us. That joy that illuminates our being, that joy that we bring to Costco and all those other places. That's what we're here for. And in this season of joy, that's what we're trying to remember. So there's this story. I'm assuming some of y'all are familiar with it, but I'm just going to bring it up just as a reminder. It's called The Prodigal Son. You ever heard of the prodigal son, that story? Yeah, right? And prodigal, if you're wondering, it just means reckless spending. So the recklessly spending child, right? So I'm going to change it to the joyful son, right? Or the joyful child. And you can fill in whatever. It can be father, daughter, mother, sons, whatever. There's this provider, there's this recipient of the provisions, and there's this tension. And so here's the story in Pedro style version of saying it. So this kid comes up to their parents, says, listen, got a proposition for you. When you're dead, and I'm not trying to rush anything, just saying, when you leave, kick the bucket, whatever it is, half of this is mine, right? It's like, yep. Well, listen, why don't I give you the joy of sharing that gift with me now? Give me my inheritance today, and then I'll have the joy of living a life that I'd rather live than being a part of this family business, and everybody's happy. And then the parents go, okay. I don't know, maybe they had problems with the kid. They were like, give witness, who knows? But what happened in the story, he said, go ahead, go do that. So the kid goes out, says, first thing I'm gonna do is get a Bugatti. I'm gonna have a party, I'm inviting all my friends. A Bugatti's a fancy car, costs too much money. So they're going out, has this good time, he's living his life, enjoying it. This is great. Till he goes to that bank account and says, whoa, look at that. Money that was supposed to be there is no longer there. I'm not feeling too good about myself. And so the son sells the Bugatti, sells all the things, ends up destitute, and tries to get a job, but the job market's not that great. Sent out a bunch of resumes, nothing happened. And so now the son's like, oh, Now I'm eating out the trash. I'm having a terrible life. But I got this dad that's got this business. All his workers have a living wage. I'm going to go back. I'm going to say, Dad, or sir, ma'am, whatever. Forget thinking of me as a child. Just hire me as a worker. I just want to get a living wage. We'll be good. And so the kid walks up. And y'all remember what happened in the story, according to the story? What does the parent do? Throws him a party. Yep. Throws him a party. The parent, and it says from afar off, the parent saw the kid coming. So the kid probably had a very cool walk. So like, and it's like, oh my God, that's my kid. And the parents run out and they're like, yay! And they're not just like, oh, wow, da, da. They're like, my son was lost and now they're found. It was dead and now my son's alive. It gets dramatic, you know, because he felt all these feelings. And the parent is like excited, maximum joy. Welcome back. And they say, what'd you do with all my money? Just like, I'm so glad you're here. Throw a party, make a barbecue, get a coat. And the other sibling who never did anything wrong was like, figures. But the joy is there, and the parent's joy is maximum. The kid's joy is maximum. And it's not like the parent loves the kid with love that they didn't have before. The parent didn't just start loving that kid. The parent always loved that kid. But only now the kid is able to receive it. Because the kid knew what it was like to not have it. And now the kid knows what it is to have it. And now the joy is complete. And that's what we're here for. That's one of the teachings that Jesus taught. Jesus said to his disciples during the farewell discourses, he said, like the Creator loved me, I love you. I'm telling you all this stuff so that my joy can be in you and your joy can be complete. That's what we're here for. That's why we gather. That's why we put in the effort to try to remember and remind other folks about why we're here. But sometimes it's hard. Things happen. Recently, we have had shootings both here and abroad that bring up things for us. And if you're in Boulder County, you know not that far from here, we had incidents. We have well-known people that lost their lives at the hands of the unthinkable. All these things that distract us from the joy that's within us. But if we can keep the lights on, then we can illuminate the world. And man, what a joy we can have. So I'm gonna tell you a story. It's kind of funny, maybe it's not funny, but it's funny now. For like months and months and months, my car could not go in reverse. When I first came to work here, the first day I told Sue, I was like, hey, if you see me parking funny, it's just because, well, my car can't go in reverse. And this had been going on for months, so I had to be strategically parking. There was one time where I went in a parking garage and got stuck, and I had to go back. It was a scene, and the people from the RIU could see me pushing my car on the roof in Boulder, and I was like, it was wild. There's a lot of funny stories that come out of it. But not too long ago, a few weeks ago, when we had that, right before we had this freeze, my car I was going to get it fixed, and then the money that I was going to get it fixed with fell through, so I was like, I'm going to wait, right? It's going to be a little bit longer advent from my car. And then the car just turned off, wouldn't turn on. So I had to get it towed to the person that was supposed to fix it anyway. And it ended up just being a battery issue. But I said, you know what, while it's there, just fix the thing and put it so it can go in reverse. So a couple days later, I'm driving. We have this freeze. I'm going to get some pizza. And I go to put on the brakes, and the car doesn't stop. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I start praying, and I'm like, dear God, help me, God. I'm just saying all this stuff. And these other cars are at a stoplight, and I start sliding sideways toward these cars. And I'm like trying to think of all the principles and everything. Like, okay, principle number 1. And I'm like sliding, and then I'm like praying that the light turns green, and it did. And I was like, hallelujah. The car started pulling off. I'm like, whee! I stopped. But now that I'm stopped and I'm facing the hospital, which is an interesting place to be facing. And I look out the window, and here come cars. And I'm like, oh my God, what if they go through what I go through and they hit me from the side? And I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Because I forgot my car can now go in reverse. And then I'm like sitting there like, oh, and I'm like, hold on, I could go reverse, yes. And it was so fun going in reverse. It was like the best. After I got the pizza, I wanted to just reverse home all the way back, because I was just like, man, I love reverse. I never thought about reverse before. It wasn't until I didn't have it that all of a sudden it was the best thing ever. And that is how it is in this life. We as spiritual beings, as consciousness itself, we went on this adventure into unconsciousness so that we can remember and feel maximum joy. And all of our curriculums are different. There's different things that distract us from the joy that we are. For some, it's having a parent leave, a grandparent die, and a Christmas that ends in no lights, and having to reconcile that and make sense of that and learn to find the light within. And for those of us who've had different circumstances, it's a whole other thing. But that joy that we're all going towards, that unified field of joy, of awareness, of consciousness, that thing that brought us to this moment right now, is here and it's true for all of us all the time. And sometimes we can't access it, and that's when we look at our neighbor and say, hey, man, I see that in you. And that's when their neighbor looks at us and says, hey, I see it in you too. And then we remember. I got this gift recently from George Jane. Thank you. He got me this gift, The Complete Works of H. Emily Cady. And it was pretty awesome. I was preparing for this, and I had this analogy that I was going to use. And I'm so glad I started reading this book because her analogy was very similar to mine, and I know George read the book, so I was like, ooh, I'm glad I read this because I wouldn't think I was plagiarizing. But on the back of this book, and it's in the bookstore if you haven't come across it before, it says this guy, Ernest Wilson, who kind of came up and originated the Unity Christmas service. He said, next to the Bible itself, Dr. Cady's Lessons in Truth is Unity's primary textbook. That's a bold claim. And I'm not saying everybody has to read it, but I'm glad I did. And read the parts that I've had so far. And what she said is, suppose some dear lifelong friend whose ability, resources, and faithfulness you have the utmost confidence in should come to you today and say, friend, rejoice. I brought you some good news, almost too good to seem true, but true nevertheless. From this day, all things in your life may be changed. You have inherited a large fortune. In fact, I've come to bring it to you together with a message of love and goodwill. Everything that money can buy is now yours for the taking. What do you think would be the effect of such news upon you? Hang out with that for a second. I know what it'd be on me. I'd have 2 cars in reverse. I do have 2 cars in reverse. So 3. Anyway, so then suppose that before you had mentally quite taken in the new situation, this messenger of good news should say, friend, in addition to this, I found a physician who has never failed to cure every kind of bodily disease from which you are suffering. And if you will come with me to him, he assures me that he can cure you. How long would any sane person stand undecided about accepting these 2 gifts? How long would anyone hesitate while they argued with the messenger about their doubts and fears and unworthiness or lack of ability to use these gifts properly? Yet that's what we do all the time. We have a message of good news and great joy for all people. But then we struggle to receive. How many of you have never felt good enough? You don't have to raise your hands, but I know, right? How many of you have looked outside of yourself and said, oh, that person's this, and that person's that, and this person's got this, and this person's got that, and felt like you were lacking in some way? Right? Well, you know, we only can have a sense of missing something that we've already known. You can't miss something that you haven't already known. It's just how it is. Like, if I miss going in reverse, it's because I used to know what it was like to have reverse. If you miss not knowing the reality of who you are is because you've already known the reality of who you are. And now we're in the process of remembering. So there's a couple of, I told y'all, some of y'all already, I say y'all a lot, hopefully you can be cool with it. I told some of y'all that I came from, a different tradition, stricter tradition. One of the things I got in trouble with was saying that I thought that we could all be filled with all the fullness of God. Does that sound crazy to y'all here? Right? So you know where I got that from? Any guesses? The Bible. Can you believe it? I got it from the Bible. So there's this prayer in the Bible, Ephesians 3. Paul's praying, and he says, for this reason, I bow my knees before the Creator, from whom every family in heaven and on earth takes its name. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but we're going to be doing the White Stone ceremony in a couple weeks, and some of you will kind of start connecting these dots, but there's this, when you have a name, that means that's the family you come from, right? And there's certain things that come from that. So this guy's saying, everyone on earth gets their name or who they are from this reality of this Creator. So we're all in the same family. That's how he starts off. And then he says, I pray that according to the riches of the Creator's glory, you may be granted and strengthened in your inner being with power through God's Spirit. Doesn't sound crazy to me. They be strengthened in your inner being. And then he says, and that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. Doesn't sound crazy. As you are being rooted and grounded in love, like a tree, rooted and grounded in love. And then he says, I pray that you may have the power to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and the length and the height and the depth, and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge. And here's the kicker, so that you may be filled with all the fullness of God. That's some old school Christianity. But it's telling us that we can be filled with all the fullness of God, that there's nothing in us lacking, nothing in us that's missing, that we have it by being rooted and grounded in love. We have access to this fullness. But there's also this teaching that tells us that we're not enough, that we can fail this task, that we are less than. And that pervasive lie, because that's what it is, tells us that we aren't who we are. And it's the same lie that told that son, hey, man, you left, you made these mistakes, your dad and the parents aren't going to want you anymore. But that's not true. That same love was there. Only now that child was equipped to receive it. The gift to each and every one of us in this atmosphere, where we sometimes forget, is remembering the love that we came here with, the love that once we remember it, we gift it freely, and then the power of that maximum joy. That maximum joy. So as I start to wind down, I'm just going to share. I'm going a little heavy on the Bible because I think that what unity does is it tries to tell that story that you have an inheritance and you forgot. And that sometimes that inheritance comes in a package that's from old school scriptures and we're like, no, but that's because we've been not taught how to hear what it's really telling us of our value and our worth and the beauty and the fullness of God's love and God's very being that dwells in us, absolutely and wholly. And so James said that when you go through things, just count it all as joy. There's this thing in comedy. I do stand-up comedy, for those of y'all who know, sometimes on the side. And sometimes here. And it says this formula is tragedy plus time. And so if there's a tragedy with enough time, it becomes funny. That's why sometimes you can tell a joke right after something happens and people go, too soon. Come back in a month. It'll be funny. And then I added to a disaster plus distance, because sometimes there can be a disaster, but if we're far away from the disaster, then we might see something that's funny that someone else won't see as funny. But this is all wrapped up in this human knowing that there's something joyful that is waiting for us. And so that's when James says, I don't know if James was a stand-up comedian, but he said a couple funny things. Jesus did too, if you read them. Funny stuff. He does poop jokes. But there's this joy that's accessible to us. And if we can learn to anticipate that joy, even in the hard times, we can count it all as joy. So I'm going to end with this experience I had last night. I called my mom last night, and I wasn't feeling particularly joyful. And my mom does not know who I am because my mom has dementia. My mom doesn't even know her own last name. And I called her, and I said some stuff, and I was just saying things, just to be saying things, and my mom was reading a pamphlet or something, so she wasn't really listening to me, which is not dissimilar than before. But I was talking to her, and I said something, and then she laughed. And I said, "Oh, is that funny?" And she said, "Yeah." And then I giggled, and then she giggled some more. Then she giggled some more, then we just were giggling. And I was just like, you know what? Let me just laugh. And then we both just sat on the phone going, and it just kept going because joy is contagious. Joy is contagious. And even though my mom doesn't have the words to articulate who I am or who she is, and maybe she knows, I don't know, but she cannot articulate it. And whatever words that I might say to bring up things or to share stuff with my mom, she's not going to know, right? She doesn't even remember converting to Judaism. She just doesn't remember, right? But that joy was still in there. And so we laughed, and some tears fell down my face, and we laughed some more. And I said, "Hey, Mom, thank you for helping me with my talk tomorrow." And then she said, "Oh, yeah?" And then she laughed some more, you know? And we hung out in this joy that with or without words was complete. And all the things that we've experienced all our lives, and we butted heads a lot, it's erased in the joy that's really present now. And that's the gift for all of us. And if we could allow it, if we can allow it, man, what can we bring to this world? If we remember who we are, we remember that our joy was always complete and it always will be complete. That we are always enough, no matter what the world tells us, even no matter what sometimes the people we love tell us. We're complete. My prayer for you, for all of us, is that whenever we can, we remember this. And that when we remember this, we remind others. May it be so. Amen.
Wow, great job. My favorite thing to do is to come sing somewhere and to get spiritually fed while I'm here. So thank you for that. I love that. All right, we're going to go down to the river and pray. All right, I'm ready. I know a place where we can go to lay the troubles down, eating your soul. I know a place where mercy flows to take the stains, make them whiter than snow. Like a tide, it is rising up deep inside a current that moves and makes you come alive. Living water that brings the dead alive. Oh, oh, oh. We're going down to the river, down to the river, down to the river to pray. Hey, hey, let's get washed by the water, washed by the water, and rise up in amazing grace. Let's go down, down, seen it move in my own life. Took me from dusty roads into paradise. All of my hurt, all of my shame, the drowning streams that'll make you born again. Like a tide, it's rising up a deep inside a current that moves and makes you come alive. Living water that brings the dead alive. Oh, 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 we're going down to the river, down to the river, down to the river to pray. Hey, hey, let's get washed by the water, washed by the water and rise up in amazing grace. Let's go down, down, down to the river. Let's go down, down, down to the river. Let's go down. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's go down. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's go down. We're going down to the river, down to the river, down to the river to pray. Hey, hey, let's get washed by the water, washed by the water and rise in amazing grace. Let's go down, down, down to the river. Oh, go down, down, down to the river. Let's go down.
Thank you. We're doing something different today, so had to confirm it. So this is the time when we get a little bit more logistical in our service. And one of the things is that we remind ourselves why we're here. And, you know, we hear wonderful music, we hear inspiring messages, and there's more to it than that as well. So let's say together our purpose statement, just as our reminder. We commit to increasing our spiritual awareness, diversifying our community, manifesting our highest potential, and positively impacting the world. And you impact our world by being here, and we're grateful for that. And then one of the other ways that we invite you to impact Columbine is through your financial sharing, to what degree you are able to do that, because we are a self-sustaining community. And at this time in our service, if you prefer to drop your love offering into the bag, this is the time for that. And we always want to bless the offerings, however they arrive with us. So we do that each Sunday by saying our offering blessing. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. And then as the offering bags make their way through the sanctuary, we also want to thank our production team and give a wave to our online viewers that we stay connected with them because of these people up in the production booth. It's a win-win, so we thank you. And if it's your first time here or your first time in a long time, please join us in Foss Hall afterwards and just have a little time for fellowship. Okay, real quick, I'm going to go through some of the upcoming events. Christmas Eve services, 2 p.m. is more family-oriented, a little bit shorter, not quite as much music. And then the 4 p.m. and the 6 p.m. have the Columbine Choir. All three of them include candle lighting. So pick which time works best for you and come on and join us on Christmas Eve. And then the next day, Beth Overstreet is hosting a Christmas Day potluck. And this is not just if you're single, this is if you've got a small family here and you'd like to join in a bigger group, anybody is welcome. We do want for you to register in advance so we know how many tables and chairs to set up. And then you'll bring something to share, And if you want to share in the gift exchange, bring a little wrapped gift. We are also seeking several more greeters for the 6 p.m. service and some parking attendants for each of the 3. So please speak with me if you can help with that at all. And the Burning Bowl is coming up. This is a thing that we do each year, and it's a time of release, letting go of something that we hope to not be hanging on to us, and then also writing a letter to ourselves to depict what's coming up for us in the coming year. So we invite you to join us for that during the Sunday services. And then you see the Save the Date Burning Bowl, White Stone Ceremony. The Belonging Project has a special event on January 16th. And on the 22nd, Prosperity Plus 2 will begin. Details of all of these things are in your email update. And the Belonging Project, if you're not familiar with it already, it's a way for people who want to get more connected here to be individually or as a small group connected with another individual or small family group so that you can start developing deeper connections here. And Annalisa is spearheading that. So if you have questions, you might be able to catch her. And then Pedro is continuing to work on learning as we go, using our Columbine app to get people connected. And then his vision is to not only stay in the app, but to then also branch out and have people meet face to face. What a concept, right? So that's something, again, details you can get. And Pedro has offered to help people if you're having trouble downloading the app. We want you to be aware of when the office will be closed, basically from Christmas Day until January 4th, except for the Sunday services. We'll definitely be here for those. And then who is our prayer chaplain? Lisa and Sue. Thank you so much. And then who is our ambassador for today? Okay, it's me. And we're going to end a little differently today because one of our founding members, come on up, kids, George Jane, has a big birthday coming up on Christmas Day, folks. And so, George, the children are going to help us sing happy birthday. Can you stand up? And then parents, listen, because the children are going to remain here, so you're going to collect them up here and sign them out. So as soon as they're all here, we will start singing happy birthday, and then we will do our prayer for protection. Hi. Ready? Okay.
Happy birthday.
And right before we say our prayer for protection, I forgot to mention, there are cards for you all to sign for George in Foss Hall. So please sign that and help him celebrate turning 29 for the 61st time. Oh, cake. How could I forget that? There's a cake in there to celebrate. Okay, let's say our prayer for protection.
Let's go down, down, down to the river. Let's go down, down, down to the river. Let's go down. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's let's go.